A difficult spawn but engaging at the same time, that we ended up hunting to work on the bestiary. This is Ingol -1. This spawn is located in its own island called Ingol. You get there with an NPC in Gormaya, but first you need to start the quest with Hisabara by entering the teleport also in Gormaya. Say passage yes, then you will be able to sail to Ingol with Hoghorse. This island is massive in size and it comes with multiple spawns and a boss fight. The surface is where we started, but honestly it was hard to hunt at first, so we move on to -1 in order to do the bestiary there and then move back to the surface. For that reason I'm making this guide first. To get there, go east through the monsters into this building, then go downstairs and you might need to do the first 2 missions of the Cradle of Monsters quest, but perhaps just doing the first one is enough, which is to bring Vasco 1 mushroom pie and 10 bug meats. If that lets you open the cage to the northwest, then you have access. If not, do mission 2 as well. In the spawn, you encounter mainly 3 creatures, Crapemans, Rinders and Harpies, just like in the surface. However, here you also encounter a few of the harder creatures, because in Ingol, as you go deeper into the floors, then the distribution of the creatures starts to change. The first 3 are focused towards profit, and the other 3 are more about experience, so that makes this spawn mainly a profit spot. Compared to everything else that is focused towards experience is a nice change. Additionally, the experience is not that bad either, so you won't feel like you're sacrificing that. Now for defense, as the EK, the main source of damage is physical, with second place for energy and some earth. The paladin also needs to build defensively. He shouldn't sidebox with the EK, but he does do a lot of lures and also runs around the EK, so an enchanted pendulum and energy protection is highly recommended. As for the shooters, it will be mostly energy, as that is the AoE and chain attacks of the creatures, especially of the Harpy. Also, the druid needs to have well-growth runes on this particular floor. For offense, the best rune will be avalanches, even though fire is better against Harpy and Rinders, but the Crapemen take more ice and they also have more HP, so for that reason avalanches work the best. In terms of the wheel, I recommend the use of Ice Burst on the druid and Divine Grenade on the paladin. These are the best for this kind of hunt. Sorcerer should use his defensive debuff with perhaps a boost on the fire wave. And with that said, let's break down the lab. Upon entering the first time, I recommend to do small pulls near the entrance and then another to the south. Then take the west to start with the proper lab. The first pull will be around here, because you want to be near the choke of the cave and leaving 1 square for the paladin to go through, since he should be luring from the northwest. Once he comes with his lure, then you move to block the way of the creatures or have him stay blocking 1 square. This usually has some creatures go through and get to the mages. For that reason, we will have the RP go back and mages drop creatures on him, or just tank it yourself if you can. You could optionally go into the open space and run around the Ike, but that requires to be more comfortable with the spawn, or to lower the difficulty, do it a bit south and have the paladin lure from the north instead. Then you lure the extras to the next pool, which is to the left, and it's going to be quite hard for everyone, especially the paladin. At the start, we were doing it more in the middle to have more space. I will lure the monsters slowly and then set up, while the RP will go further to the left and lure monsters back. Then we switched the box to the left, so that it blocks the way through the south, and then he started with blocking 3 creatures to the northeast of me, and then when they move on him, then he starts moving. This is harder to pull off than standing in the middle, but it is safer for the mages this way, at the cost of making it harder on the paladin. So up to you to decide which option to take. Then follow the path to the southwest, and EK stands in front of this wood cabin and mages hide behind 3 walls. Meanwhile, the RP goes south to lure another box of creatures, and as long as the EK is in this spot, then the RP has at least 1 square to move around him. Then go southeast to once again a similar pool. Stand in front of the building and mages hide behind walls, while the paladin lures from the right. His lure for this pool is a bit far, so our creatures are dead or close to dying by the time he gets back. Then continue going to the right, and this time the house has 3 squares to cover instead of 2, so as the AK, help with throwing 1 magic wall on the right side. Then the RP lures from the northeast a bit. For this one, he doesn't have the room to move around me, but by the time he needs to, creatures should be dying. Also keep in mind that whenever the RP is close to the walls, then he will make the chain attack bounce to the mages. That's why it's not recommended to just stay between the shooters. Optionally, in our case, this was a no PvP server, so going through walls breaks them, which makes it a bit more difficult, but in the case of the open PvPs, you can have the RP go inside the walls if needed, although that's not recommended because it lowers XP and makes it harder on the EK as well. The next pool after that is to the northeast. For this one, the EK needs to stay behind a bit to keep the creatures on him and then go to the spot after the mages are in, because this one doesn't have room to move. If he set ups right away, then mages will have to go through him and get hit by monsters. Meanwhile, the RP goes ahead and lures from the north back to the pool. With this, the lab will be finished, as you head northwest from here to the first pool. Hunting like this, starting at around level 360 range, we were doing around 3.3 kk raw, which improved after a couple hunts to around the 3.7 kk raw. With charms and perhaps better skills and equipment, I expect experience to be around the 4 kk raw, because remember, as I said at the start, this is more of a profit spawn, which will be around the 350k to 450k per person the hour. So overall, quite a good alternative, especially a bit of an easier way to start hunting in Ingol while working on bestiary, because once you finish it, and if you still want to hunt for profit, then the spawn to go will be the surface, which I will cover soon, so consider subscribing for that. And in the meantime, check out this playlist for more spawn recommendations. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Tuna Hero, Night Star, and Torto Slasher.